Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing tonight? Episode number 409. Drink Until You podcast, the only podcast that lasts until the last drop. How the hell is your Sunday going? How the hell was your week? Hope everybody's okay. I hope you're safe out there. I'm drinking my homemade frozen spiked eggnog that I've just been experimenting with, and I gotta say, I got it down. It's really not hard. It's all store-bought stuff. So that makes it super easy. And I was looking up eggnog. I was like, wait, doesn't eggnog have raw eggs in it? That's kind of where the name came from. But apparently the store-bought stuff, you don't have to worry about that. You're not drinking raw eggs. But it still has the holiday flavor. It tastes delicious. You sprinkle a little nutmeg on there. So early on, let's go ahead and have our first drink of the episode. If you got them, drink them. Bottoms up. Cheers, everybody. And then I want to do a little drink recommendation. I don't have 3 this week. I do have 1. I'll just tell you how to make this real quick. Basically, all you need is a little ice cream cup. The ones they used to serve you in school, and it came with a wooden spoon. And you can almost taste that wooden spoon just by mentioning it. So you need a cup of ice cream. You need, obviously some big glass to put it in so you can blend it all together. I have 100 proof spiced rum right now, which I gotta be honest, dude. It's not, I don't know, is it watered down now? With inflation, I don't know if I'm even using the right financial words, but you know what I mean? How they start cutting corners, on fast food and shit. A Big Mac is half the size it used to be. That whole conspiracy. That's kind of what I'm wondering. I'm not going to say the brand rum that I got, but it's a reputable brand. And, I mean, comparatively, I feel like if I drink 3 Bud Light Platinums versus a couple of shots of this supposed 100 proof rum, I think the Bud Light Platinum would win. It's kind of weird. I don't know, dude. It's I've had a little bit of this bottle that I bought. It's I'm pouring a hefty amount into these drinks, and it's I'm not saying I'm not getting a buzz. I got the buzz. It's just this is it? I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm getting ripped off. So, yeah, like I said, I'm going to refrain from saying the kind of rum I got. It is still delicious, and I still do, like I said, I do still feel the buzz, but it just, I don't know. What are they cutting it with? Put a little water in there, I don't know, dilute it a little bit. It kind of seems that way. I don't know. Anyways, you're going to need an ice cream cup. You're going to need a glass to mix it all in. You're going to need your 100 proof rum. I mean, at this rate, I need 200 proof rum. That might get me where I want to be. And then you need your store-bought eggnog. You put all that in the glass. You blend with a blender. You pour into a separate glass. You can garnish it with, what's it called? Nutmeg, to make it even more festive. You know what I mean? If you want to do something like that. But it's delicious, dude. Shout out to the Double Wide. My favorite place to go to get these. I'm just drinking these to hold me over, man. I love the Double Wide. So anyways, if you got them, drink them. Let's have another drink. Cheers, everybody. Yeah, I don't know, dude. The rum is just kind of... It's not hitting... I mean, it's basically gasoline at that point. That 100 proof, but it's not hitting me the same. I've tried it different ways. I put it in my spiked eggnog, of course. I've tried shooting it. I gave myself a pretty decent shot of it, and it's it's not that I can't feel it. It's just I should be falling down by now. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not trying to get to that point, but I would think it being 100 proof, I don't know. So anyways, let's move on. We still have a lot of crap to cover from last week. A bunch of stuff I didn't even get to. So we'll go ahead and start with a conspiracy. I heard about this. If you haven't checked out the channel, the Y-Files on YouTube. Dude, this is my main source of entertainment lately. I love the Y-Files. I love Hecklefish. Dude, that is such an awesome idea for a sidekick, the Hecklefish just talking shit the whole time. So it's a great show. Go check him out on YouTube. He's awesome. He was just on Joe Rogan a couple of weeks ago, the host of that show. I can't remember his name right now, but he's awesome. He's a great host. He's very, like, he does his research, you know, even if the topic is like a little woo-woo, you know, like he's still trying to dig and do research to give you an entertaining episode. And absolutely, I love his channel. It's great. So anyways, what he was talking about, and I've never heard this before, has to do with the Beatles and Paul McCartney. Supposedly, well, not supposedly, Paul McCartney did get in a, like, super bad car wreck. When did he say? November 9th, 1966. And he showed the picture of the car that McCartney was in the wreck. And it looks horrible, dude. Like, the car crash, like, you see the picture and you basically think to yourself, like, how did he survive that? You know, basically, like, which is what they say on the Y-Files, and the host is like, exactly. How did he survive that? It looks like such a terrible car crash. It's like nobody could have survived that. So anyway, that's where the theory starts. Some people say, and some people think, that that's when Paul McCartney died. And obviously, years after, the band kept going. You know, I think they didn't tour after a certain time. They stopped touring and stuff, but I think they were still, like, writing albums and going into the studio and stuff like that. But a little before that, there was a Paul McCartney lookalike competition. And some guy, I can't remember the guy's name at this point now. What's his name? Billy Campbell was what they said his name was on the Y-Files. Billy Campbell was the closest, like, he looked almost identical to Paul McCartney. At least the picture I saw. I don't know if they have any video footage that I didn't get to see. But he looks super close. I mean, like, he could have passed as Paul McCartney easy. So people are thinking that since he had this horrible wreck, and people think he died. I mean, look at the car wreck. It looks terrible. That this guy, Billy Campbell, actually replaced Paul McCartney in the band. Now, there's a couple of things that are kind of strange that point to this. And this has to do with, like, Beatles album covers or Beatles artwork or even, like, Beatles audio. But there's a couple of things that I wrote down here that do kind of raise a flag in my head. And I've always noticed this, like on the Abbey Road album, Paul McCartney is the only one out of step. Paul McCartney is the only one wearing or not wearing shoes. And I think, I'm not looking at it right now, but I think Paul McCartney is the only one who has a different colored suit on. And, you know, it's just the average everyday, if this conspiracy wasn't here, it's like, okay, that's just some kind of artistic expression of some sort on this album. Well, whatever, you know, like, it wouldn't have meant shit. But the fact that they think he died in that terrible car wreck, they're thinking these signs are pointing to, I think Paul was wearing, and I might have this backwards, you'll have to fact check me, but I think Paul was wearing a white suit and everybody else is wearing black, just kind of signifying that he's not with us any longer. On that same album cover, there's a car parked on the street, and the license plate says, some of the license plate's letters, the start of it says 28IF, saying 28 if, like as if Paul McCartney were alive, he would be, at the time of this photo of the Abbey Road cover, he would be 28 years old. 28 if is what the license plate said. So all this is kind of just weird. Excuse me. And I start stumbling down this rabbit hole, and there's so much weird shit around this. I can't remember the song specifically, but you know, there's that whole thing, if you play something backwards, you can hear coded messages. Well, they do that with a specific Beatles song, and it sounds like John Lennon is going, Paul's dead, Paul's dead, I really miss him, Paul's dead, I really miss, you know, and it's super, like, they played the audio, you gotta go check out the episode, dude, it's so fascinating. But yeah, so there's all these clues, like, I want to say it's maybe the Sgt. Pepper album. I'm not sure the chronological order of all the Beatles albums, but there's signs and things on the albums that are just pointing to, like, this dude passed away, like, in this car crash. But couldn't you just imagine, like, just go with that theory for a little bit. Couldn't you just imagine, like, if that were true, the Beatles were such a huge thing and such a huge, like, cash cow, for lack of a better term, that, everybody involved would want to keep it going, wouldn't you? To keep the money flowing. You got this guy who looks like him. You don't play live shows anymore. Those, amongst the three, if that dude wasn't really Paul McCartney, amongst the three of them, they're good enough musicians to write music and play guitar and play. They don't need the look-alike to do anything, really. And so I started thinking about it even more, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm kind of like seeing that guy. I can't fucking stand him, but I always see his face, where he's kind of putting his finger up to his mouth, like tapping his finger on his mouth. And then he puts his finger up in the air like, oh, I got an idea. And then he Google searches something. And then he finds one thing. And then he does it again. It flashes to his face. And it's like he's tapping on his lip. And then he puts his finger in the air. It's like, oh, wait, I got it. And then he's Google searching something else. That's what I'm, like, doing. So all of a sudden, I'm thinking about, well, Paul McCartney supposedly, well, not supposedly, like, this was a pretty well-known thing. Paul McCartney, and when Yoko Ono came around, they didn't get along. This was a lot of the band's clash. Was like, Paul's like, she's not even in the band. Who the fuck is this bitch? I know it's your wife, but damn, like, we're the Beatles. She's not a part of this. She hasn't helped grow this. She just entered the picture. You know what I mean? But that got me thinking, it's like, maybe it was the other way around. Maybe their tension, air quote, Paul's problem with Yoko Ono, or Yoko Ono's problem with, quote, Paul, was that she was saying that kind of shit to him. You're not Paul. You're not really even in this band. What are you doing? Like, I could totally see a scenario where she's calling him out because he's just a lookalike. He's just a warm body, so to speak. You know what I mean? So I started thinking about that. I was like, dude, this is fascinating. Like, I could totally see. And that's what you've heard over the years, is how Yoko Ono and Paul McCartney just didn't get along. But I could totally see now, going with this story, kind of running with this version of it, how she could be giving him shit. He technically wouldn't be a part of the band. They weren't playing live shows anymore. It's not like he had to even perform. So, yeah, dude, that was just wild to me. I had to talk about that on the podcast. I finally got it out. It feels so much better. That was just really cool to me. I've, first off, never heard that theory before. And second off, like, when I started kind of putting things together that I do know about the Beatles, because I'm not a huge, like, Beatle maniac or whatever you want to call it, but I love the Beatles. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the Beatles, but I'm not super hardcore. Oh, I know every track on every album, the chronological order. That's not me. I don't know. But I've heard a ton of their songs, and I respect what they did, and, the whole thing they had going on was fucking great. But, anyways, yeah, I had to throw that out there, dude. I thought it was so damn fascinating. If anybody would like to write me, please tell me more. Tell me what you know. Tell me some more theories that I missed in my brief little 5-minute description of it. Write me at drinkuntilyoupodcast@gmail.com. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. Yeah, just let me know. I've never heard that before. So, yeah, it was kind of cool. Let's have another drink. Cheers, everybody. Oh my God, dude, that is so good. That is so good. That is just like hitting the spot. Oh, I love it. I will honestly say it's not as good as the double wides. I don't know. I don't know what they do. I don't know how they turn theirs so, like, theirs looks more chocolate, like darker. Mine's turning out like milky. You know what I mean? I'm not sure how they do theirs, but I would say mine's a slight step below theirs. So there's, taking the lead. I can admit that about myself. Anyways, moving on. What else? Just real quick, UFC. I didn't see any UFC this weekend. I was out at an event at Six Flags, which was a ton of fun. I went out there with family, and dude, I thought somebody, it was like the whole day was done. We got through everything, and I go to look for my car to go home. Dude, I thought somebody stole my fucking car. And I'm like, why? You know what I mean? Like, I don't drive a souped up fucking, I don't know. What's a hot car right now? I don't know. Mustang probably gets stolen a lot. The Camaros probably get stolen a lot. Any kind of Dodge, if you can steal those, the fast ones anyway. A Hellcat, those probably get stolen, right? But mine is not any of those. It's not a race car. It's not. So I'm kind of like torn. Like, I'm looking through the parking lot, like holding down my panic button so my horn will go off, and nothing's happening. I'm hearing other people's horns go off. I'm like, oh, there's my, oh, shit. And then I see people get in the car. I'm like, oh, there's my car over there. Oh, shit, there's somebody else getting in that car. But I walked around this fucking place, dude, looking for my car, like half convinced someone stole it, and also half convinced that who the fuck would steal my car? You gotta be stupid as fuck to steal my car. You ain't getting shit, man. There ain't no black market for this. You know what I mean? Like, you take that to the chop shop, they'd be like, get that piece of shit out of here, bro. We're not doing anything with that. So, it's kind of torn. I was like, oh, no, it's stolen. Oh, no, nobody would steal my, oh, no, it's stolen. Oh, so I walked out, dude, just circles out in that fucking parking lot. And I finally found the car, which I am now at home recording this episode in. As you know, that I'll do from time to time, if weather permitting. I'm not coming out here in the blistering ass summer ever again. I'm not doing that shit anymore, but it just has the best sound. In case you don't know, the reason I have recorded, I would say probably 80% of the episodes that you could go download and listen to of Drink Until You podcast, they've been recorded in a car. Just because it sounds better. It's like a little studio, dude. It's perfect. I don't have to do any extra. I don't have to add any on. I don't have to, it turns out perfect. So anyways, yeah, I'm glad I found my car. That was fucking awesome. Yeah, I guess the last thing I need to get to is the hockey. The hockey happenings, dude. There's been some shit go on since we last talked. Since I last talked in your ear hole. There's been some Dallas Stars shit that's gone on. Obviously, I've been watching... excuse me, guys. I've been kind of under the weather lately, too. But I've been watching multiple games around the league. Of course, just trying to keep up with everybody. I'm trying to watch... I did watch my first Winnipeg Jets game. They won that game. I couldn't tell you who they played. So that was nice. I'm trying to honestly watch more of the Blackhawks games / San Jose games. Obviously, if you're paying attention to the NHL, those teams have some young talent on there that you want to see playing because they're going to do something awesome. Excuse me, as my voice cracks. But yeah, they're going to do something awesome. So, yeah, watching a lot of hockey. Let's see, Philadelphia, the Flyers, dude. What a game. They're just, I can't tell what kind of team they are. Like, I want to believe they're a good team, and but they're doing their thing. It's really not been their fault this season. It's just been some bad offside calls that have led to them not getting 2 points, but you'd still like to have the 1 point. That'll work, Who are they playing the other night? Fuck. Texas Hot. Yeah, this is just all mixed up. I've been watching so much. But anyways, they basically pushed the game to overtime. They win it in overtime. It was a great game, dude. They're playing well. I'm excited to watch them. I love the size of them. I don't think they're the fastest team ever, but, they're big enough to take up a lot of space to, it's hard to get passes through on those guys, or shots even. They're so big, they're blocking everything. Oh, yeah, I watched a little bit of, who was it? Excuse me, I'm about to cough into this mic. I'm really trying to hold back. Tampa Bay Lightning versus Edmonton, the Edmonton Oilers. Dude, that overtime was absolutely insane, man. Give me 1 second. So yeah, anyway, the Edmonton Tampa Bay game, dude. Vasilevsky 3v3 overtime. I know it was Nurse was one of the Oilers players out on the ice at this time, and I can't remember the other two players, but literally those three players each got a shot, 3v3 overtime, at Vasilevsky in like the blink of an eye. It was like Nurse got a shot, and then it bounced off Vasilevsky, and then their next guy got a shot, and then the third guy got a shot. Vasilevsky saved like 3 crucial goals in a row, and they take the puck down and score to win it in overtime. Dude, it was fucking... I'm so glad, like, I stuck that game out to watch the overtime. I mean, pretty much any game I'm watching, if it gets to overtime, like, you know, and there's another game in the second period, dude, I'm not watching the second period. I'm watching the overtime. You know what I mean? Like, this game's about to be over anyway. And not only that, but the overtime is just so exciting. But, dude, it was a bam, bam, bam save play from Vasilevsky all the way to the other end of the rink, and they just they sneak it in for the game winner. It was badass, dude. Like, I've said this for years. Even when they beat us in the Stanley Cup, Vasilevsky's a fucking monster. It's hard not to like him, and I absolutely like him. You know what I mean? Like, what else has been going on? Oh my God. Jason Robertson, my Dallas Star. My God, dude. He is on an absolute tear like I've never seen him on before. I've never seen anybody on before that I can think of anyway. No matter just him. But he is just absolutely on a tear, dude. I don't even know the stats anymore. I've lost track of how many games he's scored in. He's just scoring nonstop, which is what you want to see from a fan's perspective. You know, of course, we want to see good defense too. You know, we don't want to have to outscore every team 10-9. You know what I mean? Like, that's not going to happen. But yeah, dude, Robertson is on an absolute tear. There's some drama with the Dallas Stars and the New York Islanders game I haven't even talked about yet. Basically, they felt what Rantanen did was a dirty play. He boarded one of their players. Like, let's make no mistake about that. He boarded that dude. But it totally wasn't on purpose. You know what I mean? Like, he's getting his skate clipped from the back. He's off balance. He's got someone pursuing him. And the guy in front of Rantanen, I mean, he was the unfortunate meat in the sandwich in this scenario. And he got plastered on the fucking board. Dude goes down, doesn't get up from the ice. Of course, you know, the Islanders are riled up from that. Patrick Waugh is yelling at Rantanen because Rantanen got kicked out of the game. So, you know, he's going on to the bench and down the tunnel. And Patrick Waugh, formerly of the, goalie for the Colorado Avalanche, if you don't know, back in the day. One of my favorite goalies of all time. But at the same time, fuck Patrick Waugh as a fucking person. You know what I mean? Like, screaming at Rantanen like that. Like, first off, Waugh, you're not a player anymore, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it just drives me crazy. Like, you can yell at the coach. You can yell at our coach if you feel like, I don't know, he sent him out there to do something dirty. Totally. And our coach will yell right back at you. But once you're a coach, you don't yell at players. Players yell at players. And he was basically threatening Rantanen that when we rematch them in March, I think it is, of next year, that Rantanen's not going to make it off the ice. Shut the fuck up. Patrick Waugh, shut the fuck up. This pisses me off, dude. Because, like I said, he's not a player anymore. You're behind the bench as a coach. Like, cool your shit, dude. I understand he's passionate. I get it. And he saw what he saw. You know, and he thought Rantanen did it maliciously. But, you know, looking at the replay, it's like you can tell that shit wasn't malicious, bro. I don't care what a million Islanders fans say. That shit was not malicious. They're just doing that old thing to, like, rile you up, you know, like that little kids do. Saying the opposite of what actually, you know what I mean? Like, that's all Islanders fans are doing. You know, there's some realistic ones, too. Let me not say it's all of them. There's some realistic ones that called it how they saw it, which was that Rantanen, I mean, he's a fucking unit, bro. Like, he gets his momentum. They call him the Moose for a reason. He gets his momentum up, and he can't stop. And you're, like I said, you're the meat in this metaphor, in this situation, and he's the heavy-ass bread. You know what I mean? Like, he's smushing you. I mean, that's a terrible metaphor, but anyway. So, yeah, the thing with Wah, I don't like the fucking... First off, Wah was not, in case you don't know, Wah wasn't even that guy when he played. Back in his day, he was not the guy that was going to get pissed off and everybody on the ice was going to be like, oh, no, Wah's pissed off. Nobody gave a fuck. He's not that guy. So even back then, he wasn't that guy. Well, fast forward to 2025, Wah, you're also still not that guy anymore. And if you want to take it to that step, Wah, by the way, if you are that mad and you want to do something about it yourself, the game was here in Texas, by the way, which is going to lead to my next point. Texas has a law where you can fight another person, another man in the street with no legal consequence. It's the right to mutual combat law in Texas. Go look it up. If he felt that strongly about it, he could have had mutual. It has to not be related to gang violence. You can't have any weapons. But yeah, if you both mutually agree, you can fucking throw hands out in the street if you want to. So I say, and I'm sure Wah doesn't know this, but I say, if you're that fucking mad, you want to put your money where your mouth is, I dare you to throw some hands with Rantanen, dude. Wah wasn't even that guy when he played. You're not that guy now. And you know what pissed me off the most about it? Was just, it kind of feels like, and I get it, Wah was sticking up for his player. He felt it was malicious. I'm sure he might feel different, like going back and watching the video. I don't know. He seems like a fuck ass of a person. His poor fucking chihuahua, dude, like fucking shivers in the corner every time he gets home. Like, stop yelling, bro. Like, you're not scaring anybody. It's ridiculous. Anyways. But yeah, it was just, the thing that pissed me off also on top of it was that he's kind of has this safety net now of like being the coach. He can get as mad and talk as much crazy shit as he wants because he knows he's not a player. He's not going to get on there's no gloves to drop for him. You know what I mean? So it's like, it was just kind of a bitch move to even yell at Rantanen like that. Yeah, and it just rubbed me the wrong way. Fuck Patrick Wah. I would slap Patrick Wah in the face. You know what I mean? Like, fuck that guy. And this is crazy to say from me because I respect the dude. As a player, I respect the fuck out of Patrick Wah. He was one of the greatest fucking goalies ever. He's definitely in the GOAT conversation, you know what I mean? But yeah, as far as getting all bent out of shape and fucking yelling at Rantanen, shut the fuck up, Wah. That was ridiculous. I had secondhand embarrassment for him. His fucking tomato red face. Like, dude, so what are you doing? You're not worrying anybody, you know? And then to threaten Rantanen for the next game, dude, Rantanen's gonna be skating on clouds, bro. You better not breathe on that motherfucker wrong because the refs are gonna be looking. The league knows what's going on. So anyways, Rantanen didn't receive any disciplinary action for that move because I think the league saw it the same way. Most of us saw it. It wasn't malicious. He just lost his balance due to the pursuit of the Edmonton Oiler behind him. Or, I'm sorry, not the New York Islander behind him. Same color scheme. That's why you got them mixed up. But yeah, they clip skates. Rantanen, I mean, just smushes the dude. It wasn't malicious. Now, in that same game, this is the hard part because they got the calls in the game wrong. You know what I mean? They got the calls in the game wrong right. they got it good bad. You know what I mean? Like, they got some right, they got some wrong. And the last call in the game was absolutely wrong. Where Johnston scores to take it to overtime, but they say Robertson caused goalie interference, but Robertson was getting checked into the goalie, which caused the goalie. They got that one absolutely wrong, dude. It's a tough play, and I can kind of sympathize with why they called it that way, maybe, because they said the path of Robertson was going through the crease, but it's like, at the same time, there's no fucking rule that says he can't go through the crease. It doesn't matter, as long as he's not pushing the goalie, touching the goalie, impeding the goalie from making a save, it's not fucking goalie interference. So anyways, he's skating to, he might get a half a skate in the crease, big fucking deal. But they look at it as he was basically going to make contact with the goalie anyway, and they call it a no-goal. Even though he wasn't. He was just going to skate through, like I said, a half a skate in the crease and pass by. It was their player that knocked Robertson into their own goalie, and then so it's like, okay, so every team should do that, right? Whenever the other team is threatening to score a goal, check somebody into your own goalie. If they score, it doesn't count. Like, that's basically what they're saying with that call, which isn't a good thing. You don't want to watch hockey like that. I'm not going to watch hockey like that. That's bullshit. We can negate any goal by checking their guy into our guy. That's stupid. So yeah, there's controversy around that. And then, Jesus Christ, as Robertson is still streaking and scoring goals in every fucking game he can possibly play in, Rantanen does a weird ass fucking move last night, and now he's suspended. It's like, what is up with Rantanen? I'm a little worried, to be honest with you guys. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm a little worried about him. Like, why is Rantanen, A, he seems over the last couple of games frustrated, and B, he came out after that hit against the Islanders guy and was like, I played in this league for a long time. I'm not a dirty player. I'm not known for doing that, which I think the league took into account too, and they're like, you know what, he's not known for do that. Clumsy, yes, you have a point with clumsy, but there's no penalty for being clumsy. You know what I mean? Like, there's just incidents that happen. So anyways, kind of Rantanen last night, in my honest opinion, way over the top, and he just absolutely mushed that Calgary player's face into the fucking boards, bro. Like, the best way I can describe it is like, if you were like on a train track and the train's coming down the tunnel, you only have a limited space on either side of the train down the tunnel. If, as the train passes you, how you would get like swallowed up in that and like spun around. That's literally what happened with Rantanen. Like, he's such a big dude that this guy did a full 360 with his face getting like and head getting smushed along the board the entire time he's doing the 360. I don't know. I'm probably describing it horribly, but it was basically, after Rantanen came out and said, I'm not a dirty player, I'm not known for that, he does a dirty play. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on with Rantanen, dude? Like, what was that all about? Now he's suspended. It's like, is he trying to get suspended? Like, I totally get playing to your fullest. It's like the Josh Hamilton thing with the Texas Rangers. They could not turn that dude off. There was no button or no thing or phrase they could say to the guy to make him slow down. It could be game 2 of the season and the ball gets hit to the furthest part of the park where he has to run it down and slam it to the wall. He's going to do it. That's just him. He's not going to slow up and go 98%. He's 100% balls to the wall all the time, no matter what. Rantanen is that too, and I get it. But it almost seems like lately he's kind of had a chip on his shoulder, and then he ends up injuring this guy, this Calgary player last night on I'm just going to say it was a dirty hit, man. Like, that was dirty. You know, I get trying to be physical and going 100%. Like, the first one he had an excuse for, the second one he doesn't, in my mind. And now I'm thinking, why is he acting like this? Like, is he not happy? Is he frustrated with coaching? Is he frustrated with teammates? So, like, what the fuck is the deal? Is he trying to get suspended? So yeah, I don't know, man. Like, yeah, I'm kind of worried a little bit. Like, what's up with Rantanen? Does he need some time off? Is that what he's, you know, is that what he's saying? You know, he's like gesturing by smashing somebody's face into the board. I want a break. It's like, all right, you can just say that, bro. You don't have to, like, and what good, like, if you really want to help the team, what good is it to have you suspended for some games? You know what I mean? Like, you're not helping us at all then. As much as you want to play and as much as you want to contribute, and now you can't, you know. And the more things like this happen, he might not be viewed, because in my personal opinion, I've never viewed Rantanen as a dirty player. Like I said a second ago, a clumsy player, yes, but there is no rule saying you have to be perfect. You can't be clumsy. That's not a rule. That's not a penalty they'll call on you in the game. Number 96, 2 minutes for being clumsy. That's not a thing. So that's allowable. But yeah, what's up, dude? What's up, Rantanen? It's gonna be okay. You know, like, we fucking love you here. We see what a beast you are. You know, like, what's with the, and I get it. I don't want him to ever, like, play 98% or, I'm only putting in 80%. I want him to go balls to the wall like he has, but don't do a dirty play. You know what I mean? Like, that's going to give you a reputation, you know, and then in a couple of years, you can't say things to the media like, I'm not known for that, because you will be known for that. Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. But anyways, yeah, so that's pretty much the episode. I just had to throw that out there. It's kind of been odd. You know, I don't know if I hope he's not unhappy, man. He's tearing it up. Like, if he can stay his ass out the penalty box, he's tearing it up. You know, that fucking spinorama backhand he did, dude, that was one of the cleanest shots I've ever fucking seen. It was so sick. So anyways, yeah, that's going to do it for me, guys. As always, don't drink and drive. Treat yourself to an Uber. Treat yourself to a Lyft. Treat yourself to a Waymo. Waymo's coming to Dallas 2026. They're already bringing the cars here, y'all. They're already testing them out. So let's, you know, keep it safe. So anyways, let's go ahead and finish off this spiked eggnog or whatever you're drinking. And we'll call it a night. Cheers, everybody. All right. I will talk to you guys next week, next weekend. Be safe. I love you all. Bye.